Hi, I'm Kat. And I'm Q. And together we're gonna do Hot Takes featuring a pro and a Jonita. Let's get it.
Obviously, I played the game a lot over the last 8 years. I have my perspective. You guys are used to it. But she's a giga casual. Bronze.
The Queen of Bronze.
The Queen of Bronze, excuse me. She's a bronze player, doesn't read a single patch note, doesn't watch a single TikTok of mine or video of mine. She's gonna also say whether she agrees with your take or not. First hot take of the week is Overwatch 2 is the most fun with the Overwatch 2 game modes like Push, Flashpoint, and soon Clash. I'm not saying take out Overwatch 1 game modes, but I'm saying that they actually feel more engaging to play than Overwatch 1 modes, and it fits the 1-2-2 much better. Do you know what 1-2-2 means?
1 DPS, 2 tanks, 2 supports.
This is what I mean by Queen of Bronze. No, try again.
1 tank, 2 DPS, 2 supports.
Yes!
Sorry,
okay,
sorry.
Do you think the Overwatch 2 modes are more fun than the Overwatch 1 ones? Like Push, Flashpoint, and Clash.
I do think Push is very well suited for the one.
Okay, what about Flashpoint?
What is that?
The Suravasa New Queen Street, New Junk City. It's like the 5 points that like move around the map.
Anyone where it's like moving things versus just fighting over a point.
Okay.
Because it isn't 1-2-2 meant to be more brawly.
True.
And so those maps enable more brawliness.
True. I will agree that I do think the new modes were designed with 1-2-2 in mind, but that being said, I still prefer Control, Hybrid. Control and Hybrid. A lot of the standard payload maps are not very good, like Havana and Junkertown. They need a bit of work, but a lot of the hybrid ones I enjoy, and I think Overwatch 1 maps still have a place in my heart, but I will agree that it fits 1-2-2 better, but I don't know if it's more fun. That doesn't still, like for some reason, the map design of the old ones are still better for me. Okay, next hot take. Most of the community confuses how annoying a character is to how hard they are. A lot of characters are incredibly annoying, aren't as easy to pick up as people believe. Junkrat, Pharah, Orisa, Sombra, Roadhog, Zarya, and even some of the more obvious characters like Ball, most Hitscan, and Zenyatta that are obviously not easy to pick up, but I've seen an insane amount of hate for them and how hard they are to play. Okay, I think you just randomly listed off a bunch of heroes. I actually agree with your take saying the community does confuse how annoying a character is to how hard they are. I feel like you got yourself confused with the list. Some of them you listed are not only annoying, but they're actually pretty easy. Some of them are hard, but like putting Roadhog in there in the same list as Ball kind of like nulled your argument, in my opinion. I feel like this list was generated with an RNG dice. Who would you say is an annoying character to play against?
Sombra, Genji, Tracer, because in the lower ranks, teamwork isn't very good. So as a support, I just always get shit on by the people who are very good at flanking and nothing ever happens.
Yeah, flankers seem to be a big problem in there, but yeah.
And that doesn't get addressed probably until gold.
Oh, I don't think it gets addressed in gold.
Okay, Blat.
I agree with the first part, your list, not so much. Hot take, when climbing the ladder, sometimes you have to play or reward bad styles of Overwatch to get the W. Good Overwatch is your ability to adapt to the situation. Some games are very tactical, but others are like wrestling in mud. Adjust and you can win more games. That's not a hot take at all. I agree. Adapting to the situation is how you win. Adaptability is a skill to climb. Good take, not a hot take. Sometimes like people will watch a pro match and then they try to emulate the same thing in their average gold match, but they can't do it because all the moving parts don't move the same. So like, well, I saw them do this on Hollywood. Why aren't we doing it? You guys are feeding. But no, you have to adapt to your rank and adapt to the enemies are not standing where like the pro matches were standing. So you take what you can get, right? If they offer you this, even if it puts you in a bad position in a diamond game, it works in silver because you don't get punished for it. So you can adapt and just get away with it and farm. It can build bad habits, but as long as you're like hyper aware, it's good. Hot take, grouped respawn actually makes players desync in lower ranks because of different mobility in heroes. On lower ranks, people simply spam their abilities on cooldown just to be in the fight more. For example, when everybody spawns together, but there is one Tracer and another Ana, the Tracer will blink infinitely to reach the fight and then just die before the Ana even reaches the spawn door. So if you don't know, group respawn or wave respawn, they added in the game where every, is it 6 seconds, there's a wave. So if anybody dies in that window, they end up spawning together. Yeah. Which is kind of nice. You're saying it's a hot take because it desyncs them? I think if you're already at a random, it makes it even worse when people are staggering and they're blinking back. So you're just taking, I don't think it's a like burn your abilities and like each hero has different movement kind of problem. It's going to be a problem no matter whether you're grouped or not. There's a higher likelihood you'll still play together. At least you're coming out relatively at the same time versus complete utter chaos where people are staggering even harder because the windows are very long. A triple blink can be over and covered pretty quickly, but like when people are actually like you die for 10 seconds and it takes almost 10 to 15 seconds to get back into fight. It's a 25-second window where people could be messing up their groups. At least you're starting relatively close. And if your window is Tracer on the flank, I mean, you don't really have to chase the Tracer. The Tracer dying is her fault. But other than her, there's not that many people with that much more mobility than that example specifically. Oh, Winter joined in. The good news is this is actually proven wrong by data. The new wave respawn helps our lowest ranks the most and less so the higher ranks. Okay, well, there you go.
No, I think what WW Huge Sun is trying to say is that people don't know how to spawn to, like, I just feel like group play just isn't there in lower ranks. So group spawn is like really good, like to sync up like players in the team, right? So they can go back in and defend. But the thing is, like some players in lower ranks just play for themselves and they don't necessarily realize the fact that like group spawn is like supposed to be like a good thing. And then they just care about just going in and getting the kills instead of waiting for the Ana and going in together. Like they don't see that waiting for the Ana and going in together is better than them trying to just reach the point and then like prevent them from getting a tick but then dying anyways. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's a player issue, not a spawn issue. People are gonna run alone and stagger no matter where they spawn. This at least data, when you have a group where you're forced to somewhat group together and spawn together, proven by data, you are more likely to play together regardless. So if you're still staggering, skill issue. Okay, hot take, meta doesn't matter. Counterswaps have more value. That is certainly a hot take. Meta somewhat does matter if you're not playing the strong stuff. As long as you're proficient on the hero, you will slightly fall behind. Like if you're not running Juno Diva on this patch right now, like you're gonna fall behind. Counter swapping doesn't have value, especially because if you don't play the counter swaps, you can't swap to something that you don't know how to play. If you don't play it efficiently, it's no. A lot of people, again, use counter swapping as a scapegoat, and like a fallback tactic, even though they're not even good at it. And it's like their crutch, even though some are more like bigger outlier examples, like swapping to certain things to counter the other one. I think some ball players, lower ball players say when they swap Sombra, I can't do anything. Or if they play Zarya or they play Diva, like, yeah, just swap Zarya, bro. It's like, not really. Like, you can't really do anything against that right now. But I know Chasm, as the ball player, he's like, if it's just Sombra, it's actually not that bad to deal with by herself.
I see this in lower ranks.
Yeah.
That the meta doesn't matter and Counterswap has more value. Because,
so she agrees with this take.
Because who's like strong right now? Tell me.
Diva.
People like me, normies, okay, rely on higher ranked players for information. Okay, so we're gonna go look at your T list and we're gonna be like, let's skip to who's at S. And we're gonna see Diva there. Okay, and I might be a tank player and I'm like, I know how to play. I played Diva before. I'm a bronze Diva player. So I'm gonna go the heck into like a game and I'm gonna play Diva just like how I've always played her in bronze and think that we're gonna win the game or I'm gonna do good because I'm playing Diva because KarQ said she's S tier. Well, guess what, bitch? You're still bronze. You still don't know how to play with the team. And they probably don't even know why Diva's good. So they might not even be like using like
So you're not agreeing with this take. Well. You're not agreeing with this take. The take is that meta doesn't matter and counter swapping actually doesn't matter either. Both don't matter.
What I'm saying is that the meta don't matter in the bronze.
Neither does counter swapping. Nothing matters, guys. Both definitely don't matter.
What I'm saying is that, you know, you're right. Meta don't matter, counter swap don't matter. You suck, just play who the fuck you want. Have fun and hope you rank up. Next.
Finn. Next. Hot take. A hero having a high skill floor or ceiling isn't an excuse for that hero to receive favoritism in terms of balancing. The fact that Tracer takes skill to play well has no bearing on my experience playing against her. She is still annoying and unfun to play against, and it's boring how often she is one of the best DPS heroes in the meta. It feels like 90% of the time, it's 90% of the time. Tracer isn't the only one, but she's the most egregious example. It feels like if she falls slightly out of S tier for one season, then everyone complains and demands buffs. A hero having isn't a favoritism in terms of balancing. So you're saying because they have a high skill ceiling, specifically, you're saying they're not as likely to receive nerfs because they're hard to cap out and thing. I disagree. I think it can't be like too outrageous, but let me formulate my thoughts here. They talk about the favoritism and balancing, then they use the Tracer example, then they talk about experience playing against her. It's annoying and unfun. Annoying and unfun is subjective. I think Tracer is fun for Tracer players. Like, some things are annoying and unfun, but aren't too problematic in my example. Like, I think Tracer is okay to play against. I think Sombra is more unfun to play against, but I think Tracer's a better hero, or more annoying. You know what I mean? It feels like 90% of the time. Tracer has been meta pretty long. I agree with that part. Tracer isn't the only one, but she's the most egregious example. If she falls out of S tier, then everyone complains and demands buffs. I don't think anybody did. I'm not sure who demanded Tracer buffs, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, so I went sentence by sentence, and let me address the first part again, because it helped me formulate my thoughts a bit more.
Well, in bronze, people keep saying, nerf Tracer. So that's not agreeable in the low ranks. Where I'm from.
I disagree that it is an excuse to receive favoritism. I think you have to do your best to balance. There's no, I don't know how we can show favoritism, but I think you balance not based on partially because their ceiling, but mostly their statistical performance and anecdotal experience. Because there's circle jerk. Okay, so the reason why they're saying this is because there's some circle jerk on that Tracer has to be the best hero for the game to be in a good state. That's just DPS players on Twitter who say that because they just want high movement. But I will say, like, high movement and dive is generally pretty fun, right? That's why a lot of people enjoy Juno. A lot of people love like Lucio, huge Lucio community, huge like Tracer, Genji. Just mobile stuff is more fun because there's more like ceiling for expression, right? Kiriko as well. You have to tweak when it's a little bit... Okay, I'm lost. What am I trying to say here?
I think it's just, they're just saying that, like Umari said, is like, they're just the loudest bunch. And every time that they feel like their hero isn't like fun to play.
That's any community.
Yeah, but I think they're just focusing on that maybe because, I don't know, maybe they're DPS and all they hear is the DPS opinion, like, you know what I mean? But I do agree that it's pretty much every hero.
I just said some of whatever was going on in my head, but I don't know how to address this take, but I said what I said.
Well, it's a take,
there's a loading,
that's for sure.
The loading emote, and that's me right now. Hot take, the quick play ban situation is dumb. Why would you punish people for wanting to simply warm up or playing casually and leaving the game? Especially if it affects your ability to queue for ranked.
I disagree.
I disagree too, because I think it makes the match quality and quick play pretty bad if people just always hop in and leave. It's the same as deathmatch. That's what deathmatch is. When you like queue up and you while in queue and you deathmatch, people come and go. That's what you should be warming up with. If you're gonna play a quick play, I think you should see through the game as long as you can. Or like play it through, or else it just lowers the quality. And quick play is played by more than half the player population. And having a bad match quality there hurts half the player population. Most people don't leave, but it seems like you, for example, want to just shoot a few people and then leave the game once you feel sufficiently warmed up to queue for rank, because that's your main mode. But you're kind of just not thinking of the other people. That's why arcade doesn't have a punishment. So if that's what your goal is, you should hit the custom training range, A, B, custom mode workshop modes, or C, play arcade. Hot take, there are no zero skill heroes. Everyone has different skills, preferences, and abilities, and so do the characters. I mean, zero skill, when people say this hero is zero skill, they're, what is it, hyperbolizing it, obviously. And a lot of them like to allocate and like define skill as just mechanical. So like, and they say Mercy or Moira or Roadhog,
or Bastion.
Are zero skill. I mean, maybe lower mechanically in some ways, but in other aspects, not so much. It's a pretty loose and broad definition. There's a lot of skill in your positioning, your movement, your understanding of the flow of the game, ultimate economy, when to generate more value by like playing for your team or like inting into them to draw attention. I mean, it's just, I think...
There are like heroes that are beginner friendly.
Yeah.
That you might be able to be better with in the lower ranks as opposed to like a Genji or like a Ball, you know?
Yeah, so everything has different skills, different skill floors and skill ceilings. That's true.
Yes, but you do, like, that can only take you so far, and eventually if you want to get better, you do have to focus on different skill sets, on the preferences and abilities and the characters and whatnot.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't disagree with this take. There are no zero skill heroes. Everything has like a baseline. Hot take, Wrecking Ball is currently a little too unkillable. I actually agree with this take. I think everyone's really fixated on D.Va this patch, which I agree, she's even more unkillable and annoying. I actually think if D.Va gets nerfed, Ball is low-key really good right now. And he's very hard to kill. Very hard to actually kill. Yeah, not a hot take. When D.Va goes down, Ball might see a rise. Just saying. That's my hot take for the meta prediction after midseason. Hot take, people think D.Va is way stronger than she actually is. I've been one-tricking this hero for ages, and it's so irritating. Everything she's so OP for now are things she could always do. She always had high burst potential and could punish people out of position in a blink of an eye. Yes, she received a lot of buffs, but the only reason she's oppressive right now is because of the armor change. I'm surprised no one's complaining as much about Ryan or Winston because both are impossible to kill and are more frustrating to play against. This is a hot take because I disagree. Or sorry, I disagree. Does that mean it's a cold take? I'm losing my brain right now.
Okay.
Sorry, brain loading. I disagree. I think, wait, no. Wait, what am I saying? I'm trying to say D.Va is really good for different reasons.
No, they're saying that right now people are being like, oh, D.Va's so like buff, she's so strong right now. But this person's been one-tricking her so long that they're like, actually, no. Like many of the things that people are saying that she's doing, like being oppressive and like catching people like out of like where they like their positioning has always been something that D.Va can do, and then they think that that's like D.Va being strong right now.
Okay, thank you. So fundamentally, D.Va is the same as with boosters, matrix, micro missiles, yes, but all the buffs and the combos have made her really good, and she is actually, no, she is stronger. She is very strong. Sorry, I've been awake. Okay, guys, I've been awake since the morning. I've been on puppy duty. I've been lack of sleep with the puppy. I'm losing my mind right now. D.Va is really good. Let's see. Yes, she could always do the things she do. She always had high burst potential. Yes, but that got buffed, right? Everybody got more HP in season 9, but then the compensatory micro missile buff was like a 25% damage boost on the micro missile, like multiplicatively, right? It was one from like 120 damage to 150. Isn't that like a 30% boost in DPS in that ability? Yes, you could always punish people in the blink of an eye, true. And then you said, yes, she received a lot of buffs. A lot of the tanks did, it's true, but the only reason she's suppressive is because of her armor changes, which I do agree. The thing is, I think D.Va's armor ratio is the highest amongst all tanks, if I'm not mistaken. And then you complement that with defense matrix to cover your bases, especially when you lose your armor. You tank a lot with your armor, flash some matrix. Oh, you're losing more than half your HP. You're in the white health. Hold matrix for a bit, get pocketed up a little bit. Bam, you're back in armor health right now. Remember, armor is a -10 on the instance of damage, which is crazy. I'm surprised no one's complaining much about Ryan or Winston. Well, Ryan doesn't have the mobility that D.Va has. And then the last part was the Juno combination right now with the speed ring, because D.Va breaks the movement speed cap, because boosters increases her base movement speed and is not a fixed speed on booster, unlike Ryan charge or Winston jump. So she's able to zoom over like 70 meters or something and chase right now. So that combo is really oppressive. Winston is still pretty good, but Ryan, not so much because of the lack of the mobility, and it's a very mobility heavy meta. So the meta works out for her as well when you add that all up. Complements the new hero very well, which is very meta. So all those things make D.Va S tier. And I don't think people think she's way stronger than she actually is, because she is objectively the strongest tank right now. Did that make sense?
Yes, but do you think she's strong because of the armor changes, or do you think
all those reasons I listed?
Okay. Do you think Ryan and Winston are just as strong as she is?
No.
Or?
Winston's was kind of close before they slightly nerfed his damage. I think Winston's like, if they nerf D.Va, Winston will be back as like one of the top picks. But like D.Va is the only hero that can close the gap the way it does amongst any tank right now. It's faster than Ball, faster than anything, with Juno.
So people complaining that she's too oppressive right now have like a good reason to say that. And you agree with that?
No, this person thinks that D.Va is OP.
But what they're trying to say is
but everybody else, I agree with what the community says, when people think that she's strong. Okay, yes. That's what I was trying to get. Okay, listen, my brain's fried. That's it for the hot takes.